In five, four, three, two, one. Welcome back, Wayfarer. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe, all that happy horse shit. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time, so on and so forth. At the end of the video, go down and leave a comment in the comment section. That really helps with the channel and keeps YouTube's algorithms barking like Pavlov's dog, which I like to hear in the background. Woof, woof. It's good fun. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone out in Happy Land. I hope you are doing well. Wishing you well. Happy Yuletide. Let me show you what we got going on here tonight. We have got the old Frank Monday channel open, and we're waiting for a video to upload that will premiere in, what does it say, approximately 35 minutes. So we'll see if that works out. We've got end of the 100-day challenge, Pathways of the Magi. I've got an interview with Freda Tomas that we did, when did we do that? A couple of days ago. Last Thursday. I'm having myself a JP Farrell, guys, at a cup of coffee. And I'm in it. I'm in it to win it tonight, man. I'm in it for the long run. So if you're out there in Happy Land, please do tune in and say hello. I will be here with you to entertain you from my kitchen. As you guys know, I am wont to transmit from the abodes of the kitchen, the temple, as I call it. So let's get into the breakdown of the end of the 100-day challenge and what it means going forward into the year 2024. Predictions for 2024. Don't have any. It's not something I like to really do. You're gonna get, okay. Here's my predictions for 2024. You're gonna get good news and you're gonna get bad news, and they're probably going to be in equal proportion. For the bad news, do your best. Keep your nose to the grindstone, roll with the punches. For the good news, take some time off, enjoy the fruits of your labor, because good things don't come about out of nowhere. They're seldom do they just arrive out of nothing. They are typically a response to your energetic formation at the time. So when you're doing good magic and you're cultivating your energy, then you should definitely be reaping the rewards of your efforts. And the suffering and the efforts and the hard work, they all go in first. It seems to be the basic pattern in this universe of responsiveness. We put out an energy wave, and then the universe accepts that energy wave and it evokes a response from the subtle energy. So sometimes things come up that you just can't fathom, but you got to examine yourself closely with retrospection and introspection and see what it is that you put out there that might have evoked such a response. So that's the way it goes. First your money, then your clothes, and nobody knows. And sometimes they do it. Sometimes you could see something coming down the line, and you can stave off trouble by making some changes. Oh, I haven't done a live stream in a long time. I mean, I've done live streams, but I haven't done one where I set up some points that I wanted to talk about and then powered through like a 2 to 3 hour session. That's been a while, so it's kind of a big deal today to be getting into it with you. We are only, really am getting a little bit annoyed with the setting of that camera, but that's okay. I'm just gonna let it roll. Um, I've always had a principle that don't try to get everything fucking perfect when you're doing a video, because you're not getting paid for it. And I don't mean it just in that manner. I mean also, if you niggle everything to death, then chances are you're gonna procrastinate so much that you'll never get it done. So just jump in there feet first and let the camera roll. And if it turns into B-roll, it turns into B-roll. You can delete it from the internet later, or YouTube will do it for you. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about in 2023. They have taken a kind of new, interesting approach to how they dish out their community strikes and how they delete things. So I noticed like they had this subtext in the background of my dashboard where they had been notifying me that they've been deleting videos without telling me really. Like I haven't seen any notifications. And then I had to kind of get in there and check, and I couldn't find it again later. Like where were all the videos? Is there a list somewhere of all the videos they've deleted of mine? But they had one and they said, we've deleted this video because we feel that it doesn't meet the TOS, or whatever, the community, whatever they call that. I forget what it's called, community standards. And so I went in, it was like a 20-minute video, and I'm like, God, I got to listen to myself for 20 minutes to figure out what I did wrong. So I sat down and I listened to it, and I couldn't find a single thing wrong with the video. And then I checked the title of the video, and I think it might have just been something to do with the title and not actually the video itself. And so I got in there and I started wondering, well, what's going on? Because I had over 2,300 videos on here at some point, and I had deleted like 700 of them, and they didn't allow me to delete all of them. I think they got nervous. I was deleting so much content that they stopped me from deleting videos for a while, of my own videos. And then I noticed that some of the ones that I had deleted that didn't delete at that time, like 6 months later, I guess they finally approved them and let them to be deleted, or at least they've disappeared from my channel. But then I was down to around 1,500 videos, and I thought, okay, yeah, that's where I should be after I deleted all of them. But then maybe that's like 100 more that I didn't actually delete. And then just like the other day, I checked my video count again, and it was at like 1,200 videos. I was like, wait a minute, that's another 300 videos missing. And it's like, I didn't delete those. But then I thought, I mean, think about the vast bulk of it. Like, my videos can run anywhere from a couple of minutes to a couple of hours long. And with YouTube hosting all of that, I mean, the content's in their hands. Once you've created it and put it out there, you let it go. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. But it's not a permanent repository of anything, and it's never guaranteed. So keep that in mind when you're making content. Even if you're one of the top performers, we've seen guys that were, making big money for YouTube, making bank, and they still get everything wiped out. And you got to wonder where it goes, because some of that stuff is really, really good fun content. And I thought maybe if it's some of my better ideas that like were really worthwhile, and maybe someone picked up on that idea and they're like, hey, I'm going to use that. We got to delete this video because then, he could come at us for a copyright strike, because it's obviously his original personal intellectual property. And so we got to get rid of the evidence. I think that might be part of it, because I do come up with some pretty brilliant ideas occasionally. I mean, it's not every day, nobody does, but I'm a creative type and I like to keep creating and going forward. And I do realize that, some of it is going to be purloined, as it were. And the little guy on the end is always going to get the shit end of the stick when it comes to business, especially when you're doing some business on someone else's platform. But that's the beauty of it too, and it has a very Taoist perspective in that way, that you just do your best work anyway, and realize that even if somebody rips off your work or whatever, that's you did that, that's your cultivation, that's your credit, even if someone else gets the credit for it. And you just let go of it, because there's so many things passing in and out of the world all the time, that it's the method, the cultivation of the self, that's the most important thing, and not grasping onto these little things, uh, that come up. But at the same time, you have to protect your investments as well. And nobody wants to feel like they're working for free. So it's tough to balance the classic Taoist virtues of non-interference and letting go, and then balance that with living in the modern world and having to make a name for yourself. Because obviously, if you create something worthwhile, and someone picks up on that and they take it, then they can benefit from that, and you might not get nothing in return. But then at the same time, if you do something untoward and shoot yourself in the foot in some way, you're definitely going to pay for that. So there doesn't seem to be a good balance in interacting with the dark mirror, as it were. Like, I don't know, how long have I been on this platform? 10 years? Something like that. Let me check my channel here. I think it started back in maybe uh, 2016. Yeah, so like that's 8 years. If that's actually when I began doing my YouTubing. How do I check? Let's see. Consider a about, okay, the about section. Yeah. So down here at the bottom of the about section, it says I got over 100,000 views. I got 1,351 videos, 547 subscribers, and I started my channel on August 28th, 2016. Yeah. And then it's got information here on how to join the Discord and the www.buymeacoffee/Frank Monday. That's where you can make a one-time donation. You know, I'm not a crook. Buymeacoffee.com. And then I've also got a Patreon. Really? I guess I opened that a couple of years ago and have never checked it. So maybe I'll need to get back in there and check it. And I think one of the reasons I never checked the Patreon again is like there's so much effort you have to put in to even making that a thing. Like I had to open a PayPal, I had to link a credit card with it, I had to link like my bank account with it, and all this different stuff. And then like PayPal came under a bunch of fire for all of their bad business practices. And I'm like, why should I, work so hard to create additional passive income streams for Patreon and PayPal when they're the bad guys in this situation? And I thought the same thing about YouTube. Like, it's really so hard to get monetized on YouTube so that you can open up things like even your community page. It took me like 6 years to open up the community tab so that I could post like texts and pictures and stuff. And at this rate, I'm at 500, almost 550 subs. It'd take me another 10 years to get up to 1,000 subs where I could ever open up, the super chat option. And so I think that's why like something like buymeacoffee.com is a really wonderful thing. Like they give a little measly, insignificant YouTuber like myself the ability for people, to put a little something in the tip jar, one-time donation. And so that's a beautiful thing. Thank you for that, buymeacoffee.com. And StreamYard too. So there are like platforms working behind the scenes to make things better for little creators so that they can kind of try to struggle up the ladder of these platforms to maybe one day stick their head above water, as yeah, to even stick your head above water, just break even. But I have received quite a bit of generosity from folks here that have shown some love. Like I was able to buy these headsets, and I bought this tripod. I figured I do it for fun. That's why I do YouTube, because I like it, and I like interacting with people, and I do it for community and connecting with the community. Um, so you guys help support that idea, but I didn't want to invest a lot of extra money into it, like buying cameras and tripods and high tech audio equipment and stuff, because it seems a little backwards to me. Like I've worked my whole life since I was a kid, and then gone through college and worked a professional career for, oh God, going on 25 years now. And I feel like you want to join companies that are, or a lot of times in my situation, I worked freelance, which I did all the legwork on my own. And when I do that, I charge big dollar, for education packages or doing curriculum work or working on books or programs or corporate training or whatever. But I was able to charge the big dollars, and that way I could finance certain things, like logistics and equipment and purchasing additional supplies and stuff like that. So it made it worthwhile. But then if you join like these new modern day, you're a independent contractor, right? They expect you to provide everything up front, and so they on their part they have little to no investment in you as an employee, right? Like think about Uber. I drove Uber for 6 months one time, and it's like you got to use your own car, you got to make your own schedule, you got to take all the losses. They're not going to compensate you for anything like tires or insurance or any of that. Um, Anything. They're just they're gonna lure you in with this. Hey, we've got bonuses if you work really hard, and you find that you're working 80 to 100 hours a week and not even breaking even. Like I figured out really quickly. I was driving in LA, and I could just imagine people driving in other places if they're not just doing it for fun as like a side hustle, that you cannot break even. You will lose money driving for Uber or Lyft. And all of those platforms, you may shit yourself, you may fool yourself for 6 months by hitting a couple of targets. And in the very beginning, the first couple of weeks, they will give you some of those bonuses But as you work harder and harder in the grift of what they've got going on, more employees are joining than they actually need. So they have a turnover rate that they do not care that you're losing money. That you oftentimes, even if you're really humping it, you're making below minimum wage. But in truth, if you calculate your numbers out over a longer arc, like even 6 months to a year, you'll figure out that you're going to be in the red the whole time. You're going to be losing money. You're going to be essentially paying those companies to work for them in the long run, with the depreciation of your vehicle, with just so many things like the economic loss for insurance and taxes, and do the math. And only dumb young people that can't do the math, they're the ones that get suckered in and would stick around for more than a couple of months to do that kind of gig. Like I said, I did it for 6 months because I had an ulterior motive. I was doing it to explore the city and finance a vehicle and interact with people, have fun, like socialize, and experience new things. And I was looking for a permanent career job. I was going to interviews and stuff. And so I had an ulterior motive, but at the same time, I was putting out in significant amounts of hours to try to make it work and see if it was viable. And it's not. I sat down, I did the math, and made all the calculations, the depreciation on the vehicle, tires, oil changes, um, insurance, taxes, all of that. And I realized that literally I was paying something like $2 or $3 an hour to do that job. I was paying out of pocket to drive people around in the long run. And so, and I'm not the only one. I've harped on this before. I'm not the only one that figured it out. Later, I went back and I watched YouTube videos, and there was like Harvard laureates, guys, with degrees in statistics and economics and stuff, and they did wonderful YouTube videos that explain the entire thing. Like I could just look it up real easy. Like, is Uber a scam? And I think one of the top Harvard guys, the Graves Institute, did one. Uber's secret, why Uber's a scam. This guy's a scammer. There's a YouTube guy that just does Uber driving because he can do it as a YouTube channel. And here's one by SciIQ. That's probably a good one. Um, so on and so forth. I know there was a black fellow that did one, and he was a Harvard guy, and he really did a really good job breaking it down. It doesn't come up right now though with that search, and so his video is probably getting suppressed. The illegal rise of Uber, so on and so forth. And it's not just Uber; it's all of those platforms like that. They're scamming their independent contractors. Anyway, yeah, this girl smacks him. His videos really pop up as the top hits, and they're all totally staged. The dude is so full of shit. I chatted with him a little bit. I think he's in the LA area too, and I chatted with a few of the top YouTube Uber drivers in LA when I was in the racket, and like they know what's up. Like they organize shit, and they try to do like union type stuff, and they try to get people in trouble. They try to find out who you are, what your number is, and like get you shut down and stuff if they think you're any kind of threat. And there was a whole thing like where they banned people from like using any of the video out of their cars to make YouTube videos, and all the big guys were still able to do it. So you could see how just like how absolutely fucking shady all these businesses are. So, point being, don't get into a shady business. Go to a corporation or a company that's a little more upright, that does a little something something for their employees and staff, and hasn't already invested interest in doing good business, which isn't always easy. It's not always easy to find a job like that. I got lucky. Or I didn't get lucky. I worked hard to get into the position I'm in. Hey, it looks like we might have a visitor out there in Happy Land. Good to see you, Wayfarer. I hope you are doing well. Welcome back, Wayfarer. This is the Frank Monday experience, as it were. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, all that happy horse shit. Leave a comment on the video down below. Let me see if I can pull up the live chat. If anybody's out there in Happy Land live chatting, it's the end of 2023. We're going straight into 2024 like a radioactive laser beam emitted from a ancient megalithic pyramid deep within the central kingdom of the celestial dragon. I'm broadcasting to you today straight out of Twilight Zone Old Peking. So welcome, Wayfarer, Wanderer, or Wildcat, wherever you are, whoever you are, whenever you may be receiving this transmission. You are loved and you are appreciated. Thank you for joining me tonight. And thank you for ringing in the new year with Frank Monday. I'm going to grab myself a beverage here in a little while. I don't have anything planned for tonight. It's the end of the year. I'm gonna ring it in with y'all out here in Happy Land. It's obviously it's not the end of the year for you guys yet. I think I'm ahead of most people in the future, right? Because I broadcast from the abodes of the future, and I think I'm probably 12 hours ahead of most people on the West Coast, 12 to 14 hours, and then more so for other people. So let me find out where you guys are at and when you guys are at. So it is 8 p.m. here in Beijing, which we've got a 4 hour countdown to the end of 2023. And then in Stockholm, Sweden, right now, it is only 1 p.m. So just after 1:05, which means you guys have approximately 11 hours, just around 11 hours till the end of the year. And then in Memphis, Tennessee, it looks like it is 6:05 a.m. So howdy out there to y'all in Memphis, Tennessee. Well, you know, good biggin. Hope you doing well. So you guys got quite a bit more time than the rest of us. You have got, yeah, so I'm 14 hours ahead of you, Memphis. And then in Berlin, Germany, I'm 7 hours ahead. And for Denver, Colorado, I'm 15 hours ahead. And yeah, like I said, in Los Angeles, California, it's only 4 a.m. You guys probably aren't up yet. So when you do get up and you see the video, Happy New Year to all of you guys out there in Los Angeles. I was born and raised in LA, so I'm an LA boy. I grew up right on the border of Compton and Long Beach. So if that tells you anything, straight out of Compton. A crazy nigga named Ice Cube. I am not, though. I was not straight out of Compton. I was not straight out of Long Beach either, but I was right on the border. So I could walk like 2 blocks north and I'd be in Compton, like Grape Street, or I could walk like 2 blocks south and I'd be in Snoop Dogg's hood, or I could walk out to the east and I'd be in Hawaiian Gardens, one of the most dangerous places in LA at the time, or I could walk just due west and I would be in Carson, Paramount, due west. No, I guess that'd still put me in Compton. Anyway, so that kind of triangulates and tells you the hood I grew up in. If you wandered into the wrong hood, you get your ass kicked. So watch out for that. Anyway, fun stuff. Looks like we might have another visitor out there in Happy Land. Welcome, Wanderer, Wayfarer, Wildcat, wherever you are. Make sure you guys check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. That's where you can put a little something, something in the coffee fund. Keep me caffeinated and motivated to keep making good content for you guys out there in Happy Land. Well, my Bluetooth microphone just died. So let me see if I can switch these out and stay connected. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, are we still connected? Are we still connected? Hello. Hello. How's the sound quality? Hello. Yeah, give me the thumbs up if you are out there. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. We're just ringing in the new year here. It's going to be 2024 coming down the ladder to us here in, for me, 4 hours, 8 p.m. in Twilight Zone Old Peking. Sometimes live streaming can be a bit of a thing, you know, like you got to talk constantly to keep, you don't want any dead air, right? So you got to keep everything lively. And if your microphone cuts out on you, then that's always one of those concomitants that you got to roll with. I'm gonna have myself a JP Farrell, and we'll get into some shoes. You guys want to get into some issues? Let's see what we got going on out in YouTube land. John Levi just dropped a new video. He's an old Tartarian guy. He likes to talk about the old world and the non-truth of his story versus our story, and how recent history may or may not have played out, and how probably most of it is some sort of scam or deception. One one other one I've been checking out recently is a guy called My Lunch Break. I think that's correct. My Lunch Break. And so My lunch break, he also does the old Tartarian type stuff. Let me pull up his channel and have a look. My lunch break. Yeah, yeah. And he's got a pretty big following. And I guess he's made like 50 videos already. And he hasn't been on there very long. Let's see how long he's been on the YouTubes. He's got over 3 million views and he's been on for just under a year. He's got 57,000 subscribers and he makes nothing else on there. I guess he's got a Twitter page too. Um, he says he recaps his daily life on his lunch break and talks about historical interests. He considers himself to be a private investigator of history. So he has kind of that old Tartarian angle as well. And the videos are good fun. If you're into that kind of thing, 90% of it's probably, I don't know, there might be some accuracy to it. Some would, again, he's into more exploration and investigation, so he's not claiming that anything he uh, he mentions is reality. It's just a fun way to look at history. But he's got a lot of good fun stuff on there, so definitely check him out if that's your kind of gig. Let me get back to my homepage here so I can see what else I wanted to mention. Show a little nipple. That might get the girls over at OnlyFans um, angry at me if I do that. Different fun stuff. Louis Rossman, if you guys haven't ever watched Louis Rossman, he's probably one of the more interesting fellows to watch that focuses on pragmatic type things here in reality. Unbelievable Ford Mustang Mach-E's software glitch could leave you stranded. So he's a computer repair guy and he fights for right to repair, which is pretty cool. If you don't know much about that, you might want to check it out. Bob the World Builder. I've been getting into D&D again. Dungeons and Dragons are role playing games in general, but everyone kind of knows the name D&D. It's one of the most ubiquitous names in the industry, and D&D it's a fun one. I like it. It's got kind of streamlined, boiled down rules, and it's I played it back when I was a kid. But Bob the World Builder, he's fun to listen to. He does a lot of D&D content. Um, Mike Zero, if you like finding out about Disney news, he just did a video on Ryan Reynolds. Let me see if my download is how long. Okay, my upload is in 15 minutes, so we got a few more minutes here. And when my video premieres, I'll go over there and I'll watch it with you guys and check it out. So Mike Zero, it's his last name is spelled Zeroh. Mike Zero. He's fun if you want to keep up with the news coming out of Hollywood. Another one on the D&D content I like to watch is the Gallant Goblin. Now, he pronounces things different than I do, and so I checked the dictionary on a couple of the words he pronounces. One is he always says bestiary for bestiary, and I looked it up in the dictionary. His pronunciation is actually more common. Both are correct. You could say bestiary or you could say bestiary, and I thought, huh, who pronounces it bestiary? Because I've always heard it bestiary, and I think of it as beast because it's a collection of beasts, right? So I've always thought it was more correct to say bestiary, but in fact it's not. But it's in the dictionary, so it is also correct. And then the other one is gallant. He always says gallant, and I had never heard it Gallant, the gallant goblin. I'd always heard it gallant, gallant. So there's a bit of a yeah, the LL. Maybe that's a Spanish influence because I'm from California, but again, I checked the dictionary and both are correct, but the one he uses is more correct. So I thought, huh, don't think don't get into thinking that you know everything, that you've turned over every rock when maybe you really haven't. Anybody else I want to mention here that I like to watch? A lot of different folks I like to watch. I'm not going to mention everyone, of course. I do like to mention people though and give people a shout out because some of the content I watch you might enjoy as well, especially when I find someone that's really, really good. Like Chris A. He does War of the Worlds, and it says that he had a War of the Worlds 1934 Christmas and New Year extravaganza live stream, and it already got 804 views. Wow, great. So his channel is called War of the Worlds 1934, and he does animation. He's a really great guy. I had a wonderful relationship with him over the last couple of years, chatting back and forth here on YouTube and Instagram. And then I got locked out of Instagram, and I just don't use it anymore. I can't really keep all those apps open all the time and connect with them. Like I don't use Twitter, I don't use Instagram, I don't really use Messenger anymore. I pretty much just use YouTube. So if you do want to get behind the scenes and contact me, then the way to do it is the Lunar Light Entertainment Discord, because that is something I can actually still connect to. And you could private message me on it. I mean, you don't have to, like, you can join the Lunar Light Entertainment Discord. You can find more about it on the About section on my page, but then you can connect directly with me and send me private messages. Oh, one wonderful one that I think I turned a lot of people onto, like at least everybody I know, is the Y Files with AJ and Hecklefish, and that's a really fun one. And it's funny too because like right around the time when I was watching the Y Files, I thought I needed a familiar like Hecklefish, and so I did a ritual summoning for a familiar, and within like a week or something, like I think the very next week, a woman at work said that she had an axolotl that she wanted to give me, and I was like, "Whoa, that's weird." So I went over, and she had two fish tanks and the fish food and stuff. And if you guys don't know what an axolotl is, it's a salamander, and I thought, wow, um, that's like the perfect familiar for me. It'd be just like a hecklefish, you know. I could have him in the video and stuff. Um, but then I kind of backed off on it a little bit, and I'm like, do I really want to take care of an animal? You know, I've got the apartment there at school, and wow, this girl just walked by on my screen doing something really lewd, and I think, okay, if you know that if that's what YouTube wants to promote is lewd behavior like TikTok, then they're really kind of they're really kind of knocking their own dick in the dirt as far as I'm concerned. But that's not why I come to YouTube. If I was looking for lewd behavior from women, there are other platforms that I would look to, where I can get what I want. But anyway, they think they're being sexy, and I guess they are. I mean, like for example, I've watched girls. Okay, so this girl just walks by and acts like she's mocking a blowjob, and she's pretty sexy, but 8.4 million views, and it's exactly like a 10-second clip, right? So that's how you get success. You act lewd, you know, if you're a woman, and you show a little breast, and the men, at least the men, will respond to you. But yeah, back to the story of my familiar. So I summoned that familiar, and I backed off a little bit, and then when I went back in, she's like, "Well, maybe you could just watch it for me for a week, right?" Like my magic is such that the universal response is so sensitive to what I'm putting out there. I've honed my Volantia so sharp that the universal response is almost instantaneous to my wishes. And so I said, okay, I'll do that. You know, and that gave me the option of returning the pet because I didn't know if I have the time and energy to take care of a pet. After 2 weeks of taking care of Mr. Fish, is what I like to call him for now. You know, he might have another name that he'll transmit to me telepathically, but for 2 weeks, and I thought, wow, I really enjoy this. I enjoy having the familiar in the environment, having a pet, and taking care of him, and it really brings me a lot of pleasure and stress relief. And I was doing well. You know, I can do well with keeping up with the uptake of taking care of an axolotl. And so I decided, yeah, I think I would rather keep him. And I thought, okay, she's going to want him back after a week, you know, because she was on vacation. And so when she came back, she's like, well, you know, have you considered maybe keeping the axolotl? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll keep Mr. Fish. And so now I have my own hecklefish hanging out with me in the apartment, which is good fun. Um, yeah. So I thought I would tell you that story. Magic is a powerful thing, guys. Once you learn to practice it and you hone your magician's will, as it were, the magical method and the magician's will, things will respond. The universal energy wants to give you what you want, and all you have to do is a little bit of work to earn it, and you're going to get exactly what you want every time. And it's going to be in direct specificity to what you request. And that's why I think it's important to learn magic. Like a lot of people would think, well, that's just manifestation. How is that different from, you know, how is magic different from manifestation? Well, manifestation is a type of natural magic, but the difference is with magic, you can set parameters. You can control things more specifically. You can control time frames of response. You can control the quality and quantity of responded items. When we started the 100-day challenge this time, Pathways of the Magician, and during the first elemental grade, during the earth elemental grade, I realized that one of the things I really needed in my life was better order. And so I started envisioning um, cabinets and containers and files and folders and shelves and stuff like that. And I did a magical invocation and I wanted these things to appear. My wife calls me that day and says, "Hey, um, I just found 3 free cabinets online, and all we need to do is go pick them up if you want them." The response was immediate, right? In less than a 24-hour time frame, I got a magical response to to my putting that out there. Um, and so it just shows you how powerful it is. But it was a little bit overload because I got more than I needed, like way more than I needed. And so like I spent the amount of money that it took for me to rent a moving van to go out and pick up the cabinets and bring them back. And then I sold one of them and got all my money back. So it was a good thing in the end. But that just shows you again, like the magician's will is that powerful. But it takes years of practice. It took me probably 9 years of magical practice in order to make good breakthroughs in things like, I mean, I'm not going to give an overabundance of specificities here, but in different things like astral travel and manifestation and that type of thing. Okay, we got 5 minutes to the premiere, guys. And so I'm going to wrap up this YouTube video. And I've got another video premiering on YouTube. And I think, let me find the title for you guys so you can find it if you want to watch it with me. And I'm going to go over there and watch it. It's the end of the 100-day challenge, Pathways of the Magi. And it's an interview with Frederick Thomas, my hypnotherapist friend who does a lot of therapy for me and works as counselor. And I have a lot of fun working with. And we've worked on a couple of these 100-day challenges together now. We worked on hypnoapotheosis, and seems like he worked on astral projection with me as well. I asked him to help us with some basic hypnotic techniques for astral projection, and he did that. Now, that was the early days of his study of magic, and he's already blossomed in to a full-fledged practicing magician now after just 1 year. We did the initiation into the neophyte grade of the Golden Dawn. I acted as the voice of Tame and the other gods, and he did all of the ritual work to pass through the portal of 0 at 0 on the Tree of Life. So that was good magic, and we're going to do that for everyone in the future. We're planning a retreat in 2025 where we will do an initiation. Now, for me personally, I like to have my magical order is the Esoteric Order of Dagon, the Eastern Star Division. So because I'm here in Twilight Zone OP King, I can't really meet with you guys very often, and I even have sporadic connection via the internet. So most of the magical work I do is under the great Father Dagon and the Mother Hydra. So all hail Cthulhu, into the abodes of the future. That's my magical order. But I am a member of the Ordo Templi Astarte, which is Poke Runyon's Church of Hermetic Sciences. He's out there in Silverado, California, Silverado Canyon, California. And I like to go there. I'm going to go there in 2025, and I'm going to do his initiation of Adonia, the summer solstice, and go to the next grade, which is his neophyte grade is called Pastophorus, and his Zealator grade is called, I forget. But anyway, I'm going to go through that next. Hopefully, if they allow me, I'm supposed to be an associate member. But when he found out that I live and work in China, he kind of treated me like a bit of a spy. Um, Looks like you're the only one here, Zippy. And Zippy, I'm about to. I've never seen you here in the live stream before, Zippy. How are you? Where are you hailing in for? If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. I'd like to see you hang around in the abodes of the future. I'm going to do another live stream transmission a little bit later. It's bad timing for most people because I'm in Beijing, China. It's 8 o'clock p.m. for me. But then when I check the world clock, like most of my friends are in the Western world. And so like, I'm an American, so I'm from California originally. It's only 4 in the morning for them. It's 4 in the morning in LA. It's 5:30 in the morning in Denver, Colorado. I've got friends there, and then it's 6:30 a.m. in Tennessee area, New York area. So you are from Australia. Wow, good to see you, Zippy. Um, what time is it for you in Australia? You must be a little closer to me in time then. I don't have that clock pulled up on my thing because I don't really know that many people in Australia. I have some friends in Ireland and England, and I don't know a lot of people that tune in from Australia, Canada, um, other places in Europe. But I've got a video that's about to premiere, and it says it's 100% uploaded now, and so it's going to be an instant premiere. And it says pending. It says your video will premiere after it finishes processing in standard definition. So I don't know exactly when it's going to go live. 8:25 p.m. Okay, so you're in exactly the same time zone as me. Wow, that's awesome. Good to meet you, Zippy. So, Zippy, how did you find out about the Frank Monday channel? I'd be interested to know. Did you learn about me recently, or did you just wander in from the highways and byways of the internet? And what kind of things are you into? Like, did because sometimes people sub my channel because of my food videos, which I do food shorts. I like to do Frank Monday's food review whenever I get an opportunity, whenever I'm traveling around in exotic locations here in China or around the world. I like to do some food review videos, but I'm also really interested in magic and esoteric Taoism and hermetic sciences and the occult and this kind of thing. So I'm curious as to how you learned about my channel. I think I got someone knocking on my door. Give me a second. Give me just a second if you would. Who that? Hello, 你好，这些都是我的。对，手写在 S 对吧？啊，对，谢谢。Okay, so I just got a delivery from the grocery store that I didn't order, so it must have been my wife. She must have ordered all of that. Good fun though. I'm glad that it's not a huge interruption, and I can keep streaming here for a little while with y'all good looking sexy people out in Happy Land. Oh, Decode Your Reality, really? Are you the person, Decode today you spoke about your channel? Okay, thank you for that then. I certainly appreciate you subbing up and coming by to say hello. I like that guy. That guy's name's Logan, right? Over at Decode Your Reality. Um, I don't know if I buy into everything he's selling, but he seems like a really good, solid guy, and I enjoy when I've got time. Nothing's going on. I enjoy listening to his decodes. I don't really get it. I do practice tarot and I practice magic, and I dig that scene, and I like old Tartaria and that kind of thing. But as far as like buying into it 100% hook, line, and sinker, no, I do not. And I was a little bit bummed that he started talking about dire portents for making ill omen predictions for the year 2024, because I think that I'm into manifestation through magic. I consider myself to be a natural magician, and I've initiated into quite a few orders. I initiated into the Church of Discordia when I was young with Robert Anton Wilson. I got my Pope card, and I've studied chaos magic, and I initiated into the Universal Society of the Integral Way, a Taoist order of magicians in Santa Monica, California, because I grew up in LA, Los Angeles, California, with Master Ni Hua Qing. And then later I did Golden Dawn when I was in the countryside, and I initiated in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And then later still, I found out about Poke Runyon and the Church of Hermetic Sciences, and I flew back to LA to get initiated into the Ordo Templi Astarte, which is the Poke Runyon's order of magical order. And so I've been my whole life since I was a kid. I've been interested in magic and manifestation and divination, tarot cards, and the I Ching and this kind of thing. And so I'm 50 now, and I've been practicing this stuff since I was a kid, since I was in my early teens, 12, 13, 14, been doing tarot. So I do really dig it. But like, as far as thinking, nothing's set in stone. The future portents are malleable, and as a magician you break yourself free from the chains of the zodiac and the elements and the major arcana. Those things do not have a direct effect on you because you're doing magic. You know, you're above the curve. What do I see for 2024? I see, okay, I was talking about this at the beginning of the video. You missed it because you came in late. But I said I do have predictions for 2024. You're going to get some good news and you're going to get some bad news. And it's probably going to be in equal proportion. And so with the bad news, you know, keep your nose to the grindstone, roll with the punches, bob and weave, you know, dance like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And for the good news, realize that you've earned it, you know, take a little time off and enjoy the wonderful things. I do sometimes predict big things though, like on every major bad event that's happened on a world scale over the last year. I've had intuitions and insights and lucid dreams about it, but it's not within my purvey. I work from my own magic circle. I work against negative forces. And so it's not within my purvey to make, you know, like make a scene about it. I write it down in my magical journal and then sometimes I'll talk about it. I'll say, see, you can see here that several days ago I wrote about this or dreamed about this, and then this happened. So I do have lots of proofs that I am a pretty powerful magician and psychic, as it were. But you know, nothing's 100%, and I don't think that it's anything. I don't think it makes for a good business model. I do spiritual counseling though. You can check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. That way you put a little something in the tip jar and for Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I always feel like Dark Side Phil whenever I mention that. And I've started whenever I mention my coffee thing, I'm not a crook, right? Because I find a lot of that to be charlatanry. To tell you a little bit about myself, I'd like to know more about you too, Zippy. Tell me anything you're willing to share. Are you the one where we talked about the Y files? Was it me and you who talked about that? Because I know there were other people in the chat, and I think the person I talked to about the Y files was named Yvonne. Um, but you might have just been there in the background and thought, hey, this whole Frank Monday is a bit of a character. I might just check him out. I've got 1,500 videos here on YouTube. I've been doing YouTubes since 2016. And I got a full-time career. I work as an English teacher in Beijing, China. And I came over to China because I love Chinese culture. I speak fairly fluent Chinese. I studied it at university for 6 years. I've got a degree in literature, and I've worked as a high school teacher for like the last 10 years. And I really enjoy it. I've worked in education for 25 years, but I've been working at a really nice academy here in Beijing. And yeah, that's me, man. I practice Kung Fu. I've been doing Kung Fu since I was a kid. I like to practice Kung Fu every day. I feel like it helps focus your energy. And so, like, learning things like astral travel and manifestation and magic and stuff, like, I felt like having learned Kung Fu for so many years, it just made it that much easier. Like, you can really get your head around it. But at the same time, Eastern mysticism, like Chinese Taoist mysticism in specific, I didn't feel like it ever really waked up. Well, I didn't wake up to the celestial sphere and the spirit realm until I got back to my grassroots and started doing Kabbalah and Hermetic sciences. And then it just, boom, it lit up like a Christmas tree. Like when I started doing the middle pillar ritual, like I learned all this stuff when I was a teenager, but I didn't do it for such a long time because I was focused on the Chinese side of things. And when I went back to my roots and started doing Kabbalistic magic, it really lit up like a Christmas tree. I'll go and listen to your older videos. No, I didn't talk about the Y files, but I did see your posts. Okay, cool. Um, thank you for subbing me. I really do appreciate that, and I cherish the opportunity and look forward to interacting with you and others in the future. I'm gonna go because I want to watch the premiere of my new video here on YouTube. So let me see if it uploaded, and I'm gonna sign off for now. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. All that happy horseshit that makes the YouTube algorithm bark like Pavlov's dog, and keep doing good magic. It says Frank Monday is live. Yeah, my video is premiering right now. So I'm gonna say bye for now. Happy New Year to you, and then I'm gonna come back after the video premieres. It's about 30 minutes long, and so I'll be in the chat on my own premiere video. Go over and watch it if you like. It's called End of the 100-Day Challenge: Pathways of the Magi. And to everyone else out there in Happy Land, have a happy New Year, and I will see you on the flip side. Into the abodes of the future we go. Keep doing good magic, guys. Until next time. Bye for now.